All right, back out on the H. We developed another wet spot. Pay no attention to that one, because that's part of that one. And you can see there's parts kind of missing. Yeah, so I started it, was running at night, shut it off, didn't shut the gas off, and we were developing a puddle. So anyhow, the gas, there's the part that was missing. The gas was, let's see, where can I set this? This brass, look at which point filming, dummy. So this brass piece here screws into the main jet. Yeah, this screws into the main jet, and it was leaking around the base of that. There was no, at digging around, there was no gasket under there. So I got up my empty fill-up jar that was full of leftover bits and pieces from other carburetor kits, and I found these little float seat gaskets that was roughly the same, right size. So we're going to put this back on and put that back on it. Hopefully that takes care of that leak. I still haven't addressed the oil leak from that one. I still haven't addressed that from the oil pressure gauge. Put the carburetor back on it, get it both back together, and we'll call that, one project kind of down. I did drill a couple holes in the battery box, and I got a good strap up and over the battery. The other big project we got done tonight. Da-da-da. So on Saturday, when I was working on it, figured out what alternator I had. Had an earlier video, went to the NAPA store and ordered this thing, and I thought it was going to be, like I said in other videos, I thought it was going to be a 3-wire. So I had my other wire ran to plug in here, blah 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 blah. When I pulled this little cap off, I don't know if you can see it or not, but this terminal and that terminal are connected. That had me questioning just what alternator did I get. See how that goes? How'd I go in there? It goes in there like that. Anyhow, did a little checking. You know what? I think I ended up with a 1-wire. So I got it mounted. Everything lines up just like the other one because they're identical, basically cases. Got the 1-wire hooked up to it. I gotta trim my tails. I hate that because it just makes a sharp edge to cut your arm off. But anyhow, and I did get some 832 all thread with some nuts and made new bolts to get this bolted on. But when I fired it up, of course it was at idle, but the needle was on the plus side of 0. I revved it up and wham, she came right over. So one of the issues guys complain about with 1-wires on old 1-wire alternators and old tractors is you gotta spin them a little faster to get them to excite and start charging. But apparently the pulley sizes here are sufficient that about half throttle it kicked off and was doing what it's supposed to. So anyhow, I still got to address this leak. I'm gonna put the carburetor back on it, so that'll be my next step. I'll put the carburetor back on it, and then I'll probably bring it back, fire it up again, and we'll see if we can figure out why this is leaking. Whether it's just a loose fitting, cracked fitting, I don't know, because that's in a real monkey of a place to get to, and it might just have to freaking leak. I don't know. We'll see. Anyhow, I'll be back. We'll get the carburetor back on. All right, so I got that gasket in down here. Turn the gas back on, and then it started spewing gas out down here, and I think it's coming out of the the overflow out of the air inlet. So I don't know, it kind of acts like maybe the float's stuck or the needle valve's not seating right or something. I don't know. I am pull it all the way off, top end, take it off the whole unit, clean it up. May have to break down and just buy a kit for it and get all new gaskets and stuff for it. But anyhow, before I do that, I am going to do this right here. Yeah, it's warm out, so every jackass with jack wagon with loud pipes is out. So pull the switch out, pull that just a little off idle. Whoa, that governor is not hooked up right at all. Huh. Well, alrighty then. So, yeah, I was struggling with it. All right, carburetor's coming all the way off, so we can. Good times. All right, so I'm gonna pull the carburetor back off, clean it all up really good. See if I can figure out why it's leaking. Figure out why the governor went wide open. Yeah, anyhow, I'll be back. All right, I think I got the carburetor leak fixed. Definitely got the governor situation straightened out. Oil leak, I have determined that the steel line has got a hole up here because I've cleaned this line, and you can see I've wiped and cleaned and wiped, and we've rubbed a hole up here. So I'm gonna have to I'll get copper line, and I'll make a new, rather than trying to bend up a steel line, I'll just make a new copper line for that. But yeah, bummer. But yeah. Anyway, well, I thought it would have charged, but maybe the battery's already all the way charged up. I don't know. Grill runs out good. Can't complain about that. But I gotta fix that, definitely. So anyhow, oh, she's a dripper. She's moist. Anyhow, I'll be back. Alright, I thought I had the carburetor leak fixed, but after I shut it off, I don't know if you can see that or not, but she's still dripping. I did figure out over here on the oil leak, oil line runs from that fitting down here up through this little deal here, over and around and into the gauge where it went through this deal right here. It yeah, it steel line held moisture and dirt and stuff. It was rotted through. So I'm going to get a copper line and a couple compression fitting things, and we'll get that taken care of. I don't think it's going to happen tonight, but we'll see. I don't know. But that's where we're at. Fix that oil leak. I might have to get a carburetor kit. As much as I hate to, I think I got to replace needle and seat, or at least the needle. Needle and seat, because it will not stop the floats working, but it does. It's got a real slow leak. When it's running, it's fine, but when you shut it off, it drips. So anyway, that's where we're at on the H. I think I'm going to call this one a video, and I'll be back.